from the Ticats Audio Network. This is Ticats Today with Louie Butko.
Yes, it is Ticats Today for a Tuesday, August the 2nd. Almost said July because I still can't believe, yes, it's the second day of August, but I can't believe we're already in August. But August the 2nd is today's date. Ticats Today is the show. Louie Butko is me. Thanks for checking us out on the Ticats Audio Network. Really appreciate it. A big show coming up. As always, we'll hear from the head coach and president of football operations, Orlondo Steinauer. We'll hear from Dane Evans and a very special guest that he had at the podium. And if you've seen me on Twitter at @LouieB_TV, you already know what I'm talking about. And I didn't notice it at the time because I was sitting a little further back. But when I was cutting up the audio from Dane, you can hear these little tiny coos, and it's adorable. And Dane says some really great stuff too, as he always does. But we'll hear from Dane Evans. We'll hear from Kam Kelly. He had that big interception to close out the game last week. We'll get his thoughts. And I'm going to go one-on-one with offensive coordinator Tommy Condell on today's show. So lots to get into. Thanks for checking us out. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of this show or any other great shows that we have for you on the Ticats Audio Network, like a brand new episode of the Coach O Show with Luke Tasker, which is now available on the Ticats Audio Network. Just one piece of housekeeping to let you know about in our news and notes, as the Hamilton Ticats have made another signing, and it's a familiar face, as the Ticats have signed national receiver Mike Jones. A 29-year-old played 18 games over 2 seasons with the Elks from 2021 to 2022. He was originally selected by the Ticats in the third round of the 2016 CFL draft. Played 58 games over 4 seasons, and he is back. And here's what Coach O had to say about signing Mike Jones.
Yeah, we got banged up at national receiver, at Canadian receiver, and you never know what's going to be available. Mike has some obvious familiarity with our offense, with Tommy, and obviously, our quarterback. So it was kind of a no-brainer for us. We really didn't have any intention of, bringing anybody in, but sometimes you have uncontrollable factors like injuries, and it's necessary to make moves. None of this surprises me. Like, Tommy and I are in consistent communication, and we believe in being multiple in all 3 facets of the game, and I believe that we're pretty multiple in all 3 phases of the football game. And yeah, Tommy's just, obviously I have a great relationship with Tommy. Been with him, basically since 2013. I've watched his work ethic and his commitment and his preparation and obviously the results. So yeah, the fact that we put 2 quarterbacks on the field and found a way to run some plays out of it, and it's not just to run the plays, it's, to get positive yardage on those plays. Yeah, obviously you're not gonna call plays that don't, if you can avoid it, you're not gonna call plays that don't suit a person's individual skill set. And Matt's got some unique talents and some special things that he brings to the table. So we would look to utilize those as best we can. Some weeks you'll see it, some weeks you may not. Shoot, 16, Brandon is competitive. I expect him to be fired up and ready to go. And I know there's some other Ticats down there, JG, but I think at the end of the day, they're going to be gunning for a win, right? I know the headlines and the sport media part is fun to talk about, and those are good storylines, but the game's always going to be played between the whistles for as long as the game takes. And so, it's always, I got nothing but respect for the future Hall of Famer and Speedy, and I always look forward to seeing him, and he's having a decent year down there, so good for him.
That is the head coach and president of football operations for the Ticats, Orlondo Steinauer, talking about Tommy, talking about Mike Jones, and talking about preparing to play against Brandon Banks, now a member of the Toronto Argonauts, on Saturday. And we'll get you set for that game on a brand new Speaking with the Enemy. I'll catch you up with Mike Hogan this week, and that'll be coming up on Thursday here on the Ticats Audio Network. All right, Mike Jones was the roommate, and in his entire time in Hamilton, Mike Jones and Dane Evans were roommates. And Dane obviously very excited to have him back, and Dane had a very special guest at the podium today. Here is the quarterback of the Ticats, and again, with a very, very special guest.
Yeah, this is Ivy, guys. She came to practice today, so.
I just talked about it with Tommy. They talked about families and how important that is. What is the importance of being able to have Nikki on the field or Ivy or kids running around?
Yeah.
What does that do for you?
I think it's kind of exactly what you just said. Like, this is for sure a professional sport, and we know it's high demand, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, we're playing a game, and when we have leaders like Coach O and Tommy and all the guys, and you get to see their kids and meet their wives and actually learn about them as people, not just, that's my right tackle, that's my Z receiver. Like, when you learn about them more as a person, I think it makes this game not easier, right? Because it's still a demanding game, but I think it makes your sacrifice for the guy next to you, it makes it mean a little bit more, And I'm just super thankful that Coach O allows us to do stuff like this. He just actually met Ivy right before this too. So it's been awesome. I love it here. It's amazing. It's unfortunate how his situation in Edmonton turned out, but for me and for us, I think it's awesome. I think a lot of people know that I've lived with Mike, every time I've been in Hamilton, and in free agency, it just didn't work out for him. But I'm super thankful that he's back now. Honestly, as soon as I saw he got released, I definitely texted him right away and was like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'd love to have you back. And he's back. He's going to be, our roommate again, and his family will be back. I can't wait till Ivy gets to meet his kids. His boys are pretty amazing, and his wife is one of Nikki's really good friends too. So just super thankful that him and his family are back. We won. I think that's it. Whether that is encapsulated by finishing the game, finishing the drive, taking a sack when it's needed on 2nd and long instead of trying to make a play, finishing the drive with a punt, finishing with a field goal when we have to, and then obviously, touchdowns when they're there. But, like you said, we did it, but we're not anywhere where we want to be yet, right? So we got another great opportunity this week. We love playing Toronto here. We know it's going to be juiced up. We know what they're about. I think they know what we're about, so it'll be a fun one. I think that's kind of how you have to be, right? If you look at us and just try to draw up our plays, you're going to just have nightmares because you have receivers in the backfield, you have running backs on the end, 2 quarterbacks on the field. But we're not doing anything to us that's too crazy. Everybody understands their role, understands their job, and we just do what we're told to do. And if it looks weird one way, that's just how it looks, So it's kind of our identity.
Someone's decided.
Yeah,
You've had enough.
She said this is enough questions today from you, Louie. No, I'm just kidding.
That is the quarterback of the Ticats, Dane Evans, along with little baby Ivy, who he introduced to us for the first time. And I'm not sure if you heard. If you're listening to headphones, you probably definitely heard the little baby coos in between. But she was so well behaved through the 5 minutes we got with Dane after practice today. All right, one more piece of sound post-practice. And just a reminder, if you want to see how cute Dane and Nikki's baby is, you go to ticats.ca for full scrums. But we had one more piece. Here is Kam Kelly. Had a chance to catch up with him, talking about that game-winning interception, game-ending interception that he made on Thursday.
So got the call. I ended up getting back into my half, just trying to be as deep as possible, make sure I kept everybody in front of me. I had eyes on the quarterback. We made him, the D-line made him step up, and he just kind of threw it right to me. It's a great feeling, especially, being able to get the win for my teammates. That's the biggest thing. And I always want to be that guy that, my teammates call on when we need to play, no matter what. And I just want to feel like, have that confidence, not only in myself, but I want my teammates to have that confidence in me. His knowledge of the game is really high. He plays very instinctive, know what you're going to get out of CB. He's a great player. His experience has definitely has helped us a lot. It's helped me a lot. He's one of my accountability partners out there in the field. He has no filter, I guess, when it comes to, making sure everybody gets in line, so it's great to have a leader like that on the defense. Darby's knowledge of the game is really, really, it's great too. It's expanded my view of the game. We sit there and we talk ball a lot, but we also talk about life, so he's also opened my eyes to not just stuff on the football field, but stuff offside the football field. And But going back to football, like I said, he helps me. We talk through, formations, tendencies, and he's played, a lot of these people around the league, for 5, 6 years, So I always ask him if I have questions about what he thinks about a specific player or what he thinks about, the plays that other people are running or we're calling. So he's definitely helped me make a lot of plays.
And that is Kam Kelly as we caught up with him after practice today. And full scrums available at ticats.ca. All right, I had a chance to go one-on-one with offensive coordinator Tommy Condell after practice today. And here is that chat. And I started by asking him whether he felt like if he looked back on some of the games, there were 1 or 2 plays that if they had gone differently, the Ticats would be sitting at a much better record, and here's what he had to say about that.
I'm not going to live in the past. You can't. You have to correct what we correct, and then we move on to the future. We always say that the rearview mirror is a lot smaller than the windshield. So, what we do is we look at the plays, we correct the mistakes, and we move on, and we have to learn from those mistakes.
Speaking of learning, what have you learned about Dane Evans, a guy you obviously have known for a while? What have you learned from him, watching him through the first few months of the season here?
He's continued growing. He wants to be coached and coached hard. He's a team player and wants us to win football games, period, in any way, shape, or form.
He's a coach's son. He spent some time coaching. You and him and I talked about that during the COVID year. What is there challenges that come with coaching a coach a little bit?
Oh, no. It's actually even better.
Yeah.
He'll understand not only the situations that arise, but from a coach's perspective as well, because he had the opportunity to coach young men. And he can see it through that lens and not just see it through a player's lens. He'll get a chance to see it a little bit larger, and maybe we just have to move him back a little bit to get a wider view of things. And so, no, I think anybody as a player that gets out there and coaches becomes a better player.
Stick with quarterbacks. Matthew Shields, you've used him in situations, and I think it's definitely gotten a lot of people talking about how you use your quarterbacks. Is it just coaching to their styles, or I got to ask about the 2 quarterbacks?
Well, Matt, we have a great quarterback room, with Jamie, who got involved last week with some of the short yardage and goal line stuff, and with Jalen. But specifically with Matt, that room wants to win. And I alluded to earlier with Dane that no matter what shape or form, they want to be able to win. They all have to be ready at a moment's notice. And to be able to utilize the things that we're able to do with Matt is always going to be a different skill set, so to speak. Same, but a little bit different skill set. And we around here know that we're always going to use multiple quarterbacks if we can and go to their strengths.
What's going on in that head of yours when you're drawing up? I mean, like, you're obviously, what's going on?
I asked my wife. I think my wife asks me that too sometimes, and then it's not about the quarterbacks, I can promise you. And a lot of people probably. But, what we try to do is put them in the best possible situation and give us to the best advantage of what the defense has given us. And if we can be chaotic but simple, all in that nutshell, that's what we want to be able to do. But ultimately, it's about the players. It's not about the plays. It's about the players. And we've got to put them in the right situation. They got to be able to block and protect the quarterback. They got to catch and finish the drive, and they need to finish with the ball. It's as simple as that. And we go out there and we practice that. We do the ball security circuits. We do score zones. Those are the things that we got to continue to execute and continue to get better. And we need to finish. We need to finish the game, finish the play, finish the drive, and finish the ball within our hands.
You've had a lot of talented receivers come through here. This year, really, it's jumping out to me because you really have 5 guys at any given point in the receiver room that can go out there and make special plays.
Well, always around here we've been able to utilize, 3 or 4 or 5 guys, multiply from 13, 14, 15, come back 19. They've all been in that structure. And right now it's been great to be able to work with the receiving group that we have here. But that's unlocked with Jason, Coach Jason, to be able to unlock that, and we do it together. So that's exciting. And to be able to work with those guys, and continue with the details, because they're not, they're still young in the aspect of the CFL game. A lot of them are their second years, and as they mature through it in regards to just all the things and be seasoned, and then as they grow, I think they'll do it organically and bring everyone else along.
The Argos you're going to the Argos, excuse me. First of 4 in 5 weeks. What's that like preparing for, and especially as a coach, when do you hide anything when you're seeing a team so many times in such a short amount of time?
No. I don't think we do any of that. We ask the players to live in the moment, and we ask the players to take it day by day in the process of it, and that process is winning this meeting, winning this play, winning this practice, and that's what the coaches do. We're gonna have to win the game plan, so to speak, in regards to getting our players in the best possible position, and we're certainly not going to sit back there and say, oh no, we have to, no, we're going to live in this moment and live in this meeting and make sure that we win that moment.
Coaching against Jagarrett Davis as opposed to coaching. What do you? I was just about to say you got to be worried. Not worried, but you got to be ready for.
Yeah, I've already told him. They got a bunch of apex predators on that defensive line. He's one of them, but they certainly. He's just one of many that we have a massive amounts of respect for, not only from the front, but the linebackers that they have in the secondary. We're going to be aware of all of them, all 12 of them. And then when they're rotating, we know about those guys too, and the possible personnel groupings that they bring in. They're a bunch of talented group, and we understand what we're up against.
What I really have come to appreciate being at practice every day is when families are here. And I know families has always been a big part of it. But for the organization to have embraced, bring your families down here, practices, whenever it is. Like, do you take a little credit for that, for having the little Tommies running around?
I probably just exercise it. I give the credit where the credit's due, and that's ultimately, even when we were here before, when I had the real little ones, and they were 10 years younger, basically. And that was always from the top, from the caretaker and Scott Mitchell, and it just as obviously with the same thing with O. So those I just take more advantage of it, obviously because they're here, and that's something that can't go unnoticed. Those coaches that are here right now and players, importantly, that they're away from their children and away from their significant others that are so important, and they sacrifice so much, and if we or if I, individually can bring some of my kids here just to get maybe a sense of home, I think that's what it is, and O welcomes that, and it's great because I know the coaches and players really miss their families, and I do not take it for granted whatsoever, and I feel very grateful that we can do that here.
And some great stuff there from Ticats offensive coordinator and assistant head coach. Forgot to mention that off the top. A big role for him, assistant head coach and offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Tommy Condell. And my thanks to him for taking a couple minutes after practice today. And my thanks to you for tuning into today's show, because we really do appreciate it. Yes, I tell you that every show, and it rings true as the first show as it does today. So thank you so much for checking us out. Make sure to subscribe, like, and if you have any feedback, you can hit me up on Twitter at @LouieB_TV. That's it for us today. We are back tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on the Ticats Audio Network. I'm Louie Butko. Hoping you have a great day.
Ticats Today can be heard every weekday, and we would like to hear from you. Email us at gameday@ticats.ca. Have a question or an opinion? We want to hear it. That's gameday@ticats.ca. Subscribe to the Ticats Audio Network on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.